What's going on, everybody? Life update video. This is like my 10th take. I'm doing, like, when I do these videos, these are like raw, uncut, just straight from the heart and mind type videos, and I talk a lot. And because of that, I've made a little note here of just different points to discuss in case I lose my train of thought, because I do talk a lot in these videos and I'm just all over the place. So if you see me look down, that's what's going on there. But this is one of those life update videos that I make a couple times a year. I personally have always enjoyed these videos. And the coolest thing about it is, like, with this platform that we have here on YouTube, I know that whether this video gets 100 views, 1,000 views, 10,000 views, or whatever, that in my experience making these kind of videos, there's at least one person who somehow this video helps. Me talking in my dining room about some experiences that are not so good going on in my life, and that helps somebody else out. So that's the cool thing about it. You never know who's watching. And speaking of that right there, I had an old teacher of mine from my freshman year of high school. He messaged me last night. We got to talking. He said he checked out the channel, saw some of my life update videos that I made like on New Year's and last August. I think it's the last time I made another one of those. Or I made one right like in March. Anyways, you just never know who's watching, whether you're doing something good, bad, or whatever, or just me talking. You never know how you might affect somebody. Hopefully for the better, but sometimes it's not for the better. But this video here, I'm super embarrassed to make because we don't like to talk about failures. As like people, we don't. And the reason I'm making this video is simply if it can help somebody, but also I hope to look back on this video in maybe just a few months or a few years or 20 years, or one day if I have kids and they look back and they kind of see the kind of hardships that I was facing at the time. And we're all going through something. I mean, I think we can agree that 2020 is just a freaking super weird year. It's obviously because of the thing that makes you cough, but also just like so many other things, the ramifications of that. Some people are affected differently by that, and I hope this video does not come off as me being like super whiny or crybaby or anything like that, because that's not the point of this video. That's not the reason I made the video. That's why I've held off on making this video, because I'm so embarrassed by that. But like I said, the goal is to maybe just let somebody else in the world know that they're not alone. So I'm gonna be homeless. Judging by the title, you read that, but don't feel bad for me. I don't want any sympathy, none of that. Hopefully you didn't type a comment being like, oh my God, Zach, I hope everything's okay. Everything will be okay. I promise you. I'm the most negatively positive person in the world. I'm super negative on myself, and then I click record or I start talking to people, and then I realize, you know what? Things ain't so bad because we're all going through something. But yeah, I'm going to be homeless by choice. It's going to be temporary. But this house that I'm in, I own this house and I rented it out spur of the moment. I've got 2 months to figure out a living situation. And I live in a small city of like 23,000. And there's a big military base here. And because of the military base, there's a good real estate market. But because of the military base, there's an oversaturated, like jacked up priced housing market. Rent houses, shacks the size of this living room are like $900, and I pay $1,400 for this whole house. So it's crazy. We got to figure out something there. But to me, that is like the most exciting thing ever. Being lost and not knowing what's going to happen. Like, I'm not going to live in a box or anything like that, but if I don't figure something out, like I don't know where I'm going to go. And to me, I like that challenge. I don't know. It's super weird, but it's one of the things I can kind of cross off the list. I'm homeless, not your technical, like living in a box homeless, but I don't have a home type homeless, I guess, if that makes any sense. But I have been directly affected by that thing that makes you cough that I can't say, because like I said, YouTube will punish my channel. They'll punish you for talking about it, or they were for a while. I'm just going to avoid that. But I've been directly affected by that. My business revenue has been cut by like 60%. You know, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I'm not private when it comes to this type of stuff, even though I probably should be. But, you know, up until this hit in March and took a big impact on like the US economy, for the past 2 years, I hadn't made less than $6,000 a month. So very blessed and very fortunate to be able to do that. Growing up, we didn't have much. And even, you know, my first few years in kind of like adulthood, I didn't have much. I had like $200 in the bank. Welcome to the real world, Zach, right? But because of that, I'm very frugal, live a very frugal lifestyle. Don't live outside of my means. And I know there's somebody saying that, well, Zach, if you didn't live outside your means, you wouldn't be worried about this. But for over 24 months, I've made no less than like $6,000, and all my bills are about $3,000. And this stuff hits, and my revenue got cut to like $2,500 a month. overnight, like that dude in SpongeBob flickering the light switch. That's what happened. This has never happened before. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Thankfully, I've got a good savings. But the thing is, I started this stuff in March with $20,000 in savings. Right now, I'm at $6,000. Drained my savings, and now I'm like $11,500 in more debt because of like unexpected expenses and things like that happening. At one of my rent houses, the air conditioner went out. It's $5,000. My brand new truck, I was cruising down the road. There was nobody on the road, nothing. Something popped up and hit it. $800 damage. Like, all this weird stuff is going on, man. And it's like, as a person, and because this is directly affecting me, I feel so like bogged down. I feel stuck. I'm negative, bitter. You're mad at the world, that kind of stuff. Why me when everybody is going through something? And this is the first time in my adult life, I'm only 22, that I've kind of been in a little bit of a financial bind. Obviously, I still have a little bit of my savings, but how do you spend like $12,000 to $14,000 in 5 months and you don't got nothing to show for it because your revenue for your business that you've built for 8 years is cut overnight into absolutely nothing? Like, that's tough, and it takes a toll on you, but that's where you gotta like change your mindset, and that's what I'm really good at. I'm so negative upon myself behind closed doors, like I mentioned a minute ago, but then when I get to talking to you guys, or I get to thinking about it, the entrepreneur part of my brain, like I'm just own boss type dude, gets super excited, like, okay, I love this challenge. How can we get out of here? What can we do to create something self-sustaining and to come back from this? And that's what I've been doing, turning these negatives into positives. So this house, I live in a super big, beautiful dream house at 22 years old. It is just it's the most amazing blessing in the world. The thing is, though, since I moved in this house, I've had buyer's remorse. I've never been happy here. It was just kind of a checklist, on the goal list, but I definitely jumped the gun when I got this house. I just wasn't, in the right state of mind. Different things going on there. So while I've gotten comfortable in this house, and I love this house, it's a beautiful house, it's never been a home, and it affects me a lot. Like, I deal with a lot of depression and things like that, and my headspace in this house has just never been good, but I got comfortable, so I've stayed here. But with COVID, and I said it, demonetized, but with that going on and the revenue being cut, I don't have to get rid of this house. And also I own 2 other rent houses, and to me, real estate is something that is super cool. I love real estate. I'm getting into that, like owning houses. I mean, dude, there's been more millionaires from real estate than like anything else in the world. So it's super cool. And so what I did was spur of the moment 2 weeks ago. I posted my house up for rent for a really high price. I was like, this won't happen. But hey, if it does, it does. A week later, we signed a lease and I've got to be out in September. So for me, that is really freaking cool because what is going on in the world has pushed me to do something that I wanted to do, but because I was so comfortable, I didn't do it, and because of this, hey, that's what happened. So another thing is, like, 2020 was projected to be, like, even on YouTube, my most successful year ever. Statistic-wise, analytic-wise, view-wise, sub-wise, money-wise, all that. And 3 months in, boom, all that stuff got tipped upside down. So you can only imagine what that does to somebody, like when you work so hard for something and then it's just like a big kick to the gut. And then all this other stuff starts happening. When it rains, it pours. I'm telling y'all, before this, like making good money, nothing happened. Like there was nothing. There was no random big damages to my truck or big air conditioners going out and like super expensive stuff. So it's like, it's crazy. And it could take a toll on you. And I'm surprised I don't have gray hair, but like being forced to make these changes in my life is so exciting. And I'm so pumped about it because like I've talked about it before, like I love YouTube and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. But I upload videos on a game series, GTA, that hasn't had anything new in 7 years, and I cover a lot of the older games that are like 10 plus years old, and there's obviously nothing new, and I've done it for 8 years, and when you do something so much, I think the word is ad nauseum, it just becomes boring, and you don't like it, and it can make you like hate it, and I'm kind of pigeonholed into a corner of like, I want to try new things, but I'm scared to try new things, and that's what this is doing. It's making me try new things, and I'm so freaking excited about it. And I've met so many great people because of this. And Captain Excellent, he's a YouTuber you guys should check out. I love the guy. He's got some amazing content, Easter eggs and things like that. I love that stuff. That's right up my alley. And this guy actually used to be a fan of the channel back in like 2016 before he had his channel. But man, I've annoyed that guy to death. like in the Twitter DMs. He's a super cool guy, and he's been I'm very fortunate to have met somebody like that on YouTube to like reach out to. But we've talked about things, but like sometimes like I've had these like mental breakdowns. I swear to God, you guys, like for a while it was messing with me. I was going insane, like freaking out, man, because like this stuff is nuts. So, you know, you make your plans and you hear God laughing, or, you know, you got a big wrench thrown in your plan, the curveballs come out of nowhere, and you just got to swerve and you got to hit them things, because that's life. Like, things like this will always happen, whether you're prepared for it or not. The whole world wasn't prepared for 2020 and what we're going through now. I mean, it's crazy to think like January, it's August now, man. That's what's crazy. And like Kobe Bryant passed away in 2020, but that feels like a lifetime ago. It's just this big blur. Just weird times for everybody. But the thing is, I hope by watching this video, y'all know that, hey, you're not the only one going through some stuff, whether it's financially or whatever. And I know there's probably somebody saying like, Zach, $2,500 or $3,000 a month is still great. But when you got bills to pay as an adult, that's one thing I didn't realize as a kid or a teenager, is like, it don't matter what's going on. Them bills and them due dates, that it's still due, man. And so you got to take care of that. And what I was saying about YouTube is just like uploading things and doing the same thing over and over and over. And because there is nothing new and nothing really to kind of like transition to, I'm going to cover Mafia. I love that game series. And when that game comes out in September, I'm so pumped for that. But like outside of that, there's just nothing new. So because I don't hate what I do, but doing the same thing can make you hate what you do. But at the same time, I've realized that like, I'm not lazy when it comes to like what I do. It's just because I'm not enjoying it right now. And like say GTA 6 gets announced or Rockstar releases a new title like RDR2, I'm going to cover that. I'm going to be so excited for that. I think about that, but then I try not to think about that because I get depressed thinking, man, that's like years away. But like, because there's nothing new going on in the community, I think there's a lot of negativity because of that. And like everything's just old. People aren't as excited right now. Everybody's just bored. And so it's definitely just weird times. And I'm at this weird point in my life where I'm only 22, so I'm super young, but I feel so like old and like late to the game at the same time. Like I feel like I should be light years ahead of where I'm at right now. But that's kind of the purpose of this video, for you guys to hopefully, hey, maybe I can help you out if you're going through something, but also to look back on and just, it's all about that mindset. Be positive, even when you feel like not being positive, because it's so easy to be negative, just like it's so easy to sit there on the couch for freaking 6 hours and do absolutely nothing versus go to the gym for an hour and like get super freaking swole and all that, man. Life's kind of ass backwards sometimes, man, and how it all works and the way our minds work and stuff. But I'm rambling now, and I could go off forever. But like I said, hopefully this video didn't come off as whining. This isn't even me venting at all. Like I said, I didn't want to talk about this, for one, because it's super embarrassing for me to be like, hey, y'all, I'm a failure. I'm failing right now, even though I'm not a failure, because look at the amazing things I have. But like, I want to share like positive things with y'all. And so while I'm going through some negative stuff in my life, that's why I said I'm very negatively positive, because this stuff sucks, man. But we got to smile through it, because at the end of the day, like, it's very easy. I can shut down. I will shut down and I will freeze up and just get stuck. And when you do that, life keeps on going. So you're still right here. And the people who were going through the stuff with you, who kept going, look at them now. Like the old corny quotes that say like, oh, there's a rainbow after every storm, or like setups make, or setbacks make for stronger comebacks or something like that. I mean, that stuff is true though. And it's all about your mindset and your perseverance and your willingness to like push through. I mean, kind of like when I started YouTube, the first few months, like I got 1 like on my videos, and that was from me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't stop. And I kept going. And look where we're at now, 8 years later. So to anybody watching this, man, hopefully some words of wisdom resonate with you. Y'all can always reach out to me, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Some of you guys do, and I appreciate that. And I'm sorry if I don't get back to you. But like through these videos, I hope just like me talking to you helps, So anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. I feel like I'm leaving stuff out because I could probably go forever. I need to start a podcast or something. But I love you all. Thank y'all for always being there, whether you're new to the channel or you've been around for a while through some of the other stuff in my life, whether it's been like the breakups that I've talked about or just like the depression throughout the years, man. You guys are like the only people that have ever really like been there. And I talk to y'all just through this camera. So thank y'all. I love you. And just know that, hey, it'll all get better.